Most traders come in after their first trading course and say, man, this is so exciting. Couple days later, they say, holy shit, I don't know anything here. There's a lot more I need to learn as a trader to be able to become profitable. If you're currently on this journey and looking up at the mountain of skills you feel like you need to tackle in your trading career, I'm here to tell you the one in particular that has really helped me make over $300,000 in prop firm payouts. For me, that skill is adaptability. And the best way for me to visualize that over and over again has always been journaling my trades. This is not just psychology or like how I felt that day or how I slept. It's going to be tangible things that I have always put in my trading journal that I carry with me into the next trading session. I can go back and look over month to see how my trading has improved and how I've adapted to current market conditions. So let's dive into my personal trading journal, what it looks like. First thing on my list is going to be my trading plan going into the day. So like on NASDAQ, for example, today we're trading around 23,400, looking for longs to close above 23,400 and shorts below 23,300. Could just be an example, not a particular trading plan I have going into today, but that would be the first thing in my journal, is something that I had in my plan going into the day. Now let's go about actually placing a trade. First thing I put in my journal after I've completed my trade, I don't try to journal in the moment. I want to be focused on the market. First thing I put there is reason for entry and the actual data point. So that, of course, would be my fill price for my entry, whether I'm long or short. I will then insert a visual of the trade. So I'm a big fan of the risk reward tool in TradingView. We also have this available on Alpha Ticks, which is a Project X platform. I always take a visual screenshot so I can see where my stop loss was, where my take profit was, and of course, like we just said, where my entry was. Then underneath this, I put my exit point and my reason for exit. So on my reason for entry, this obviously would be following the plan. For example, would be we got a 5-minute close above 23,400. That would be my reason for entry. Now, this is additionally where I would put any sort of flaws in my execution. For example, I panicked a little bit and entered earlier than I should have, or later than I should have, because I felt like there was an influx of volume coming into the market. Now, understand here, this is where we can put, didn't get as good of a fill as I was hoping for because of a large 1 minute or 30-second candle. That's not an issue in your execution. That is just market conditions, but still should be noted for next time, so you can figure out, how could I get an entry maybe before that influx of volume comes? Could there be something on the chart that was showing me that move was on its way? This is what I'm talking about in being adaptable, is picking up on these things and market conditions that maybe will help you your next trading period. So this is where I put my reason for entry. And again, any notes on my lack of execution, issues with execution, or maybe something I did well. Of course, we want to make note of things we do well. If I caught a good entry, why? What did I see on the chart that allowed me to do that? Again, not so much about I was feeling sad, I was feeling happy. That part we need to control if we're going to take trading seriously. I don't really make note of that personally. Now we move on to my exit. Obviously, once I exit the trade, it will either be a market order that I got out of the position early, or my take profit was filled, or my stop loss was filled. We're obviously going to record which one of those things happened and why. Same thing as my entry. There may have been an influx of volume into the market that the trade moved for or against me that caused me to exit the trade a little bit early. This is where I would make note of that. And again, what was the outcome? Was this a panic sell? Why did I do that? What sort of news release caused me to do that? Right? This is where we need to make note of this, and how can I avoid doing that next time? That's where I make these notes that, again, what am I seeing in the chart that could maybe allow for me to either hold that trade a little bit longer, or if I took a loss, what can I recognize in the chart that'll allow for me to cut that trade even quicker to minimize my losses next time? Next thing I make note of in my trading journal is going to be my position sizing. So I'm somebody that enjoys scaling into my trades as they go my way. Notice I did not say scaling into losing trades. This is something that was in my trading journal early in my career, was adding to losers. You would see that over and over again in my position sizing section of my losing trades. It would be circled in red, and then eventually when I would work and use them on my laptop, highlighted in red, whatever you're using here, right? We need to make some sort of note of things that we are doing wrong consistently. For me, it used to be adding to losers, and this is where my position sizing would get thrown way out of whack. So For example, if I took a loss on a trade, breached the account, right? 3-4% loss on a prop firm account. Typically it would be something like a full 5, 6, 7 contracts of NQ. Obviously, those trades would be highlighted in my position sizing section of my journal, tagged with some sort of flaw. For me, it was just highlighting in red. For you, you might actually have tags in your journal, like oversizing or scaled into a loser, right? Something we need to make note of. So for me, what I would do, set a contract limit on myself. Right now, I rarely ever trade more than 2 NQ contracts. I don't see a need for it. And it has been a significant improvement from years ago now in my trading career that I recognize needed to change. Again, talking about being adaptable. Market conditions, NQ is way too volatile, in my opinion, to be able to trade with drawdown that prop firms provide with anything realistically more than 2 contracts to start the day. Now, of course, when I go up on the day, I might up my risk. If I'm up $3,000 in the day, that means obviously I've earned a little bit more risk that I can use to take a larger position. But in my opinion, based on my journaling, I found that anything more than 2 contracts was leading to me breaching accounts much more frequently than I would like to. So again, this was something that came from my trading, put in my journal, and then having the ability to adapt to market conditions and just how volatile NQ is led to me only trading 2 contracts at a time or less. Next thing I take note of is going to be my time frame used. So this is going to be execution. Again, something that I adapted over the years. My execution time frame is strictly the 5-minute these days. Reason for that, I tried out the 1 minute for years. I tried out the 15. I tried the 3-minute. I found a lot of my losing trades happen to be on those time frames. Now, you hear a lot of traders out there say the higher you go, the higher your win rate will be. That might not be true for every single style out there. Some people scalp the 1 minute very well. Some people trade the 15-minute very well. Neither was the case for me, actually. Where I found most of my winning trades to be was when I executed on the 5-minute. The only way I even knew this was going through my trading journal and finding what ways can I adapt my strategy to give myself the best chance of coming out on top. And that doesn't mean just the highest winning percentage. It means where am I most profitable all the time? That includes losing trades, that includes big wins, that includes my average win. For me, the 5-minute is where I found this. I've adapted my trading style to only executing on the 5-minute ever since I found this, and we're talking about going on 2 years ago in my trading style. It came from trying different time frames, making note of which time frame I actually executed on, and of course, highlighting which ones went well, which ones did not go so well. So for me, something I adapted in my trading style is only executing on the 5-minute. I encourage you to note the same thing in your journal. Again, if you're going to be adaptable, we need to be able to pinpoint things that need to change. The last thing I have in my trading journal personally is going to be time of trade. This is something a lot of prop firm dashboards actually do. Our dashboard here at Alpha Futures does do this for you. Shows you the results and P&L of your trades by time of day. So meaning if you're trading the Asian session, if you're trading New York, if you're trading London session, we do break down all this data in your dashboard for you by the hour based on entry time. So for me, again, something I found very, very consistent in my trading journal was a ton of losing trades in the Asian session. These days, I strictly trade the New York session. I do not trade London or Asian. I never really gave London session that much attention, to be honest, because that is when I sleep, mostly being based in the US. I am in London right now as I'm making this video, but I won't be trading the markets at this time because I'm not used to it. But something I found in my trading journal over and over again was that I lose a lot during the Asian session. So I gave it up completely, had the discipline to be able to stay away from it. But again, finding ways to adapt my trading style that is working best for me. So trading journals do not need to be something about your feelings that day or how much sleep you got last night. I think a lot of traders here journal and think that it's some sort of diary. It's strictly creating tangible things for yourself you can review and make improvements upon. The best skill, in my opinion, a trader can have is adaptability. Trading journal is the best way, in my opinion, for you able to see what needs to change and what needs to stay the same. That's being adaptable in all market conditions. So I mentioned we collect all of your trading data for you in your Alpha Futures dashboard. I really encourage you, go in, review that data, figure out how you can adapt, figure out how you can get better. After that, feel free to check out the rest of our offerings at alphafutures.com. Let us know how we can help, guys. I will be in the Discord all hours as usual, and I will catch you all in the next video.